Y'all know what it is. Don't sit here and act like y'all don't know what it is. It's another episode. It's another show. It's another main event. DIRREC game. It's getting scary out here, people. People all in their emotions. They're all in their feelings. Oh, man. They see holes in the ship. They're on their final outcries because they can't find anything wrong with Xbox, people. I came here to cook today. Oh, yes. I waited to the end of the week and let things just pile up. And I realized one thing, that Sony's on their last bullet for this generation. They're on their last bullet, people. And the PlayStation fans, they still got Xbox in their mouth because they just don't know any better. And that's the sad thing about it. But the funny thing is, DIRREC Gaming is about to go live. Let's go.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Thirty below Smitty Smith of the Zinc in the building. I see y'all, man. I'm gonna give y'all some shout outs real quick. I'm gonna give y'all some love. Let some of y'all's comments hit the screen before we start this show, because I'm gonna cook, man. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cook, y'all. It's been a good week. Oh my goodness, has it been a good week, man. It's beautiful. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Smitty Smith. Appreciate everybody up in here. I appreciate it. You know we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. We've been very thankful for all the sharing that's been going on, all the love and support that's been going on. Um, y'all know what it is, man. It's a DIRREC gaming, y'all. If you love what we're about, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Never miss a ones and twos on the beats that we bring to these shows. We do this because we have a passion to do this. We do this because this is just what we do. There's some people that don't like Xbox. There's some people that do like Xbox. There's some people that just want to play Xbox games and really don't want to buy a console, but that's not this show. This show is about the Xbox fans. Because, hey, let's just be for real. Where the Xbox fans have to go? We go on the internet, all we see is doom and gloom. That's all we see. We don't really see nobody out here, building up the Xbox community, speaking truth within the Xbox community, giving the Xbox community somewhere to go, somewhere to flex, and just have a good time. But here on DIRREC Gaming, that's that show. If you're a real gamer, welcome. Come on in. We treat the real gamers with respect all across the world. For all of those across the world that tune in and make DIRREC Gaming International, we're thankful. To our members, 21 salute, 21 salutes. To our chat pack. They know that this show doesn't go without them. Get in the chat pack community, man. Get in here and let your voices be heard. We love it. I got my man Resident Gamer Zero in the building. Reishi, come on in. You already know I love to see our family when our family gets together. Smitty Smith, he just digitally sent me the Book of X. Digitally sent me the Book of X. Smitty Smith, I appreciate that. I'm finna open up the book, flip to some scriptures real quick, get to some chapters. Oh, the book of it. There we go. We're going to get to these verses real quick. We'll get to these verses and I'm going to spit these bars. Listen, I don't try to be braggadocious. I don't try to be braggadocious. But it's just feeling good out here now that when you're right, you're right. Others think when you're right, you're right. Zing's wild. Zing, listen, man. You know I ain't got nothing but love for you, fam. Look, when you're right, you're right. Right, Chat Pack? There's no denying when you're right. So I have nothing to deny. So let me just go ahead and let anybody who's a newcomer know this. On Di-RRec Gaming, we have a responsibility to do. And that's to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us game. In the midst of telling the truth, some people get it confused with console wars, but a veteran like me knows better than that. This ain't console war. This is just truth saying. They get into their feelings and they call it a console war. That's what they do. They get into their feelings. This ain't a console war. It's been a long week. We're on the 6th day. We're on Saturday. The beginning of the week. We're at the end of the week. The beginning of the week is tomorrow, and we don't know what's for tomorrow, but we do know how this week ended. PlayStation. What are we gonna do with you, man? I mean, you're sabotaged both ways, right? You're sabotaged by Sony's one last shot bullet for you, and then you're sabotaged by the donkeys who just don't know what to do. The tails are cut off, and they're looking for the tails, and they're all in their emotions. And the one thing that they cater to when they get stuck in their emotions is they start talking about Xbox. So since they like to talk about Xbox all the time, we're going to talk about PlayStation. And we're going to say the things that they really don't want to hear. We know that. But at the same time, it has to be spoken about, right? Because some of these things that I'm about to say have already been told to them. Because like I said, we don't hate the donkeys. They just hate us. We love the truth. They just hate. They love the lies. We love the truth so much that we can cipher between our emotions. They can't. So because they can't, we're generous. We leave behind hay bales. We drop carrots down. And they still are upset because we don't know what to do. We don't have a solution for them. That's Sony's job. Sony's job is to find a solution for them, right? Right, big money? That's their job. So in the process of trying to figure them out, we've come to a conclusion that you can't. You can't figure them out. They're beyond the definition of being weirdos. They're beyond that. So they're so fascinated on Xbox. And let's look. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's show them some respect. They are really, really doing a great job with these Xbox games. They're doing a great job. I'm gonna commend them where commending deserves to be. And I'm gonna say this, that they're doing a great job, and I want the donkeys to continue to buy these Xbox games. Keep buying them, support Microsoft's third-party publishing titles. And at the same time, y'all know that we are not the same. Okay, so let's get to it, right? Let's talk about the reasons why y'all are really here. Let's get down to it. So why is it that we was just chilling, minding our own business, right? And all of a sudden, lo and behold, we get news that the PlayStation 5's liquid metal is still having issues. But didn't I not say this? Did I not say that this was going to start to show itself in the 5th year? When you're right, you're right. You think I'm going to let anybody else out here claim that? I got the videos for what I say. They don't have that. All you got to do is go back and find them. They're in there. I said, give it 5 years. I gave donkeys a year when it was faulty in the beginning. And they try to come up with excuses telling me, oh, well, legal, all consoles come out with problems and this is normal. That's in their world. They think when a new console comes out, It's supposed to have all these issues to it. That's what donkeys told me. Because we remember when Spider-Man came out. It was buggy as hell. Shouts to my man Rain G4. Shout out to Grizzly in the building. Shouts to Rachel. I see you, Rachel. Let me put you up here real quick. There you go, because he typed some long stuff. I'm gonna say Rachel real quick. He typed some long stuff. Hold on. They talk so much about Xbox. They don't know what games they are getting. Facts. I see nobody talking about the third-party exclusives coming to PlayStation. Exactly. They don't, for one, Raishi, they don't play PlayStation games to know what they're talking about. That's the first problem they have. Second problem they have is this right here. It's what we're about to talk about. Sony been lied to them in the beginning. The whole PlayStation 5 console has been a gimmick. They had 6 bullets back then. Now they're down to 1. They came out with the We Believe in the Generations. They came out with, you know what? PlayStation Plus is superior to Game Pass. They came out talking about how Game Pass is not substantial. It wouldn't work in the modern day era of gaming. Game Pass hurts devs. We heard it all. What else? What else did they say? The PlayStation 5 console is full RDNA 2.0. What else? It backfired. We don't believe in generations anymore. No, we believe in crossplay. We believe in crossplay between our generations. See how that switched up? Spotty King,
Actual
what's up, fam?
SSD.
Damn, I forgot about that too. And then they lied about the SSD. So listen, I'm not here to bash anybody on what they purchase. I don't care what you buy. I know what I'm gonna buy. As a consumer that purchase, I know what I'm going to buy. When I add up all those lies, right? I had to actually get an extra clip because now it's just this is the last one in the chamber. Fifth year. Fifth year. Fifth year Resident Gamer Zero. And we're back to the cooling system. We're back to the problem that has always been there. So we're going to rewind it one more time. And I'm going to go off camera and I got a story to tell. Hey, Resident Gamer, you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, because I'm hiding. But I want everybody to listen up. We're going into the tales of the new legal. Brought to you by the Book of X. Sponsored by DIRREC Gaming. In the beginning, PlayStation Plus existed in 2010. And let me show y'all what PlayStation Plus has been doing since then. Okay? Now, we're going to start from October the 14th to March the 23rd. Okay? And I'm going to show y'all something that in March of the 23rd of 2023, I can't go no further because we know that PlayStation stopped showing the numbers for PlayStation Plus. They stopped showing the numbers. And I'm going to show you why. All right? So starting in October of 2014, PlayStation Plus came out and it fired up 7.9 million subscribers. Now, this is on all tiers added. I don't want to just say this is just in just a singular tier. This is all the tiers added up. And in 2015 of January hit 10.9. March of 2016, 20.8. March of 2017, 26.4. December of 2018, 34.2. March of 2019, 36.4. June of 2019, 36.2. September of 2019, 36.9. December of 2019, 38.8. March of 2020, 41.5. And we entered the year of COVID. Now, watch this, because in the year of COVID, the gaming industry thrived unlike it's ever thrived in its history. So when we get to June of 2020, PlayStation Plus jumped from 41 million to 45 million. September of 2020, 45.9 million. Now, I want y'all to keep up with me because something happens. December of 2020, it hits 47.4. Now, I want y'all to remember this number, 47 million. March of 2021, 47.6. June of 2021, 46.3. September of 2021, 47.2. And here we go. At the height, December 21, 48 million. Mark my words with that. Do not let 48 million leave your hearts. March 2022, 47.4. June 22, 47.3. September 22, 45.4. December 22, 46.4. And then March of 2023, 47.4. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, PlayStation Plus has a problem. And here's the problem it has. PlayStation Plus isn't growing. The magical number for PlayStation Plus, ladies and gentlemen, is 47 million. At its apex, it's hit 48 million. And when you go read the articles, that only lasted for less than a month, and it fell back down. PlayStation's current situation right now with its service, it's not doing very well. The donkeys want to make up excuses. They want you listen to some of these flip-floppers out there on Twitter X with their delusional mindsets, right? They're not stable. But people want to listen to these unstable mindsets, go right ahead. But they're not stable. But they want to come out here and tell you something about why Sony's doing what they're doing with the PlayStation Plus subscription. My man Pyro MD, what's up, fam? Talos Ree, I see you. The problem, they started way back before all of this. That's why I read y'all that. The problem is PlayStation isn't gaining any new gamers. So I just showed you that to alleviate all the nonsense that somehow this PlayStation platform is just growing and growing and growing, and all these gamers around the world want to flock to PlayStation. That's the narrative. That's the myth. That's the theory. And you know how the New Legal loves to destroy those narratives, theories, and myths. I love doing it. That's why we do this here. The world is not investing in PlayStation games. The world today does not invest in PlayStation games. And guess who doesn't either? The PlayStation fan base. How do I know? Let's get back into it. Y'all can still hear me, right? Xbox brand, Resident Gamer Zero. Y'all can hear me just fine, right?
Yes,
sir.
Because I told everybody I was going to cook today. Now, y'all heard all the excuses, right? About PlayStation Plus not going. They're going to stand on their 10 toes down about not delivering first party games. And then you see some of these cockroaches out here running their mouth as if, there's something other than the fact that PlayStation just can't simply afford it, is the truth. but they want to tell you that there's another option out there as to why this is not happening. Like there's another brainiac decision. Well, let's just go back in history and open up the storybook. Here we find Jim Ryan, the ex-CEO, and we got an article right here. Let's read it, because in this article, Jim Ryan tells everybody the reason. PlayStation's Jim Ryan, our games could suffer. What, Jim Ryan? Rewind that back, because we're studying, right? We're studying out of this book. See, the one thing about the Book of X, it keeps all the receipts. It knows how to automatically keep the receipts of history. PlayStation's Jim Ryan, our games could suffer if they went straight into PlayStation Plus. So you're telling me that God of War would flat out suffer day one if it went to PlayStation Plus? Does that sound like a strong service platform to you? Your own game you put on your own service, and you tell me it does more harm than good? That tells me that you have no financial backing when it comes to your own video games. And what they want you to forget, because there's a real answer for this. Notice that this article was just in March 29 of 2022, people. Notice what was going on during March of 2022. Microsoft was getting ready to do what? Get into this ABK deal. That's what was happening. They had just bought Bethesda. They just, Tom Howard and all them were chilling. And ABK was about to come around, and there was a secret. There was a secret that we find out in the ABK trial as to what was holding up PlayStation's existence. That's Call of Duty. This is prior to that. Jim Ryan really knows. See how funny this is? Jim Ryan really knows what is paying the rent for these games. But he's not going to mention this yet because he can't see the foreseeable future as to what was going to happen. That was going to make him say it. The platform holder CEO discusses the potential for games and subscription services. Whenever a new platform or service gets announced, the focus is inevitably on what's missing rather than what's there. Sony's new PlayStation Plus subscription offers boasts online multiplayer access. Really? PlayStation has multiplayer games? Of course not. It's talking about third-party games. Another weakness, another reason why PlayStation games would suffer. What PlayStation game you know has legs to it? They're all cinematic experiences. You put a cinematic experience in a subscription, how many times you think your donkeys are going to play the game? Like, people, this is some common sense stuff. You don't have multiplayer games, let alone massive DLCs. You have no continuation to glorify your franchises. That's the problem. So what happens is you have to come out here and allow third-party publishing games to sit on your subscription service, and while they make 70% and you make 30%, because you have no choice. Hundreds of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, streaming retro titles, and game trials. But this was the same clown years back before this that said nobody wanted to play back compatibility games. This is the same clown. So do we take Jim Ryan's words for assurance, people? Or do we just look at him and laugh? Well, if you agree to the second answer, you're right. we just sit back and laugh. Or the second question, my bad. But what doesn't include, unlike its main competitor, are new first-party games that launch in the service at the same time as they come out of retail. Now, why is it that Microsoft, right, the supposed dead platform, the games are garbage, nobody buys Xboxes, dead console, can do something that the number one gaming brand in the world can't do? Told you I was gonna cook. The pure garbage of the dead console, of its waste material, inside of a 2,000-year-old coffin tomb, more like, no, make that 5,000 BC, they find this tomb predestined saying Xbox in it, with nothing but piles of poo-poo in it. How can it do something that PlayStation can't do? And it's the number one gaming brand in the world. Jim Ryan says, we feel like we are in a good virtuous cycle with the studios. Really? Let's look at that today. Do you think PlayStation right now is in a good virtuous cycle mode with first-party games? If so, where have they been the last 2.5 years? Jim Ryan, where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success. Now remember, people, he's doing all this talking. He can't see the death blow that's coming. He can't see ABK deal. He's just running them. He's running that mouth. We like that cycle, and we think our gamers like that cycle. Really? How do you know? It looks like you don't listen to your fan base. Your fan base is mad. They're dropping like flies out of the PlayStation Plus subscription service. You're back down to like 44 million. You done lost about 3 million. And the ones that are hanging on to it are paying for the lowest tier. So you're not even making your max money on your subscription service. We already know this. That's already been shown. But why are you still laughing? If you have a soul, you're laughing. And there's nothing wrong, because this is some funny stuff. He continues, in terms of putting our own games into this service or any of our services upon their release, as you well know, this is not a road that we're going to go down. This is not a road that we've been down in the past. And it's not a road that we're going to go down with in the new service. So this is the excuse. And this is exactly what Resident Gamer Zero was talking about on the last show. He nailed it. See how he didn't even see how, if you are just a gamer that studies and a disciple of gamers, right? You're a disciple gamer of gaming, and you just happen to pay attention to the brands. You're into that. You can say what Resident Gamer Zero said last week and be correct and stand on business, because what I just read is exactly what he said when he says Sony has a problem with doing anything new. They stick to their comfort zone. They don't know how to come out of their comfort zone. They're scared to come out of their comfort zone, which leaves their gaming base with the same old tired remedy. What did we used to say? The same old copy and paste. The same old sync.
Yep, copy
rinse.
paste. That's why people were making fun of them, because they do the same thing over and over again.
They never learn. Facts. Astrobot is nothing more than borrowed pieces of Mario. What is it? The ninja game. I'm sorry. Ghost of Yote. It's nothing. Right. It's nothing more than chopped up gravy train mix of Assassin's Creed Shadows. You don't have games that have any originality to them, because PlayStation doesn't. The PlayStation Studios developers don't know how to make games out of the realm. And then when they do something out of the realm, the donkey community lets them down. So they're trapped. They die. The game dies. Like Concord. It's dead. Gone. Destroyed.
They don't buy the creative risks. Yep.
There you go. They do not buy the creative risk. Now I know Xbox brand and Spark 117 have joined the show, and I'm
Spartan
thankful
in the
for it.
building.
My bad.
And I'm
my
thankful
bad.
for it. Because I'm cooking. Because I'm cooking.
I had a bit of a afternoon nap, but I'm here now. I'm here. My bad, fellas.
Femo, you good. I'm cooking. And I'm gonna let all y'all have y'all say so. Cause I listen, I can't wait for Resident Gamer and I can't wait for Xbox brand. I know what my boy Spark 117 is gonna do. I already know what he's gonna do.
I'm gonna go light one right now.
That was too. But we feel like we are in a good virtuous cycle with the studios. Explains PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan. Where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success. And we like that cycle. And we think our gamers like that cycle. He continues. Putting our own games into this service or any other service upon the release. Well, as you know, we didn't do this in the past. We're not going to do this in the future. We feel as if we're to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios. That virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible. Hold on. Rewind that. Now remember, people, this is prior to the ABK endgame. If this cycle ever gets broken, are y'all following me? This cycle, this virtuous cycle has to be left alone. Because if a screw comes out or a belt starts slipping, and things can fall apart because we don't know nothing else. So we have to keep this thing right here running. Because we don't put a level of investment that we need to make in our studios that it would not be possible. If something was to disrupt this cycle, we don't have the money. That's what that's saying. The level of investment, the level of money that we need to make in our studios would not be possible. Stop right there, because we're studying. When you're in the book of Acts and you're reading, you have to stop. You have to ponder and you have to meditate on your verses. So when you stop right there and you think about it and you apply it to the times of now, you don't have to wonder what's going on with PlayStation as to why their first-party studios can't make no games right now. Jim Ryan just told you. There's something that has happened, Xbox brand. There's something that has happened, Spark 117. There's something that has happened, Resident Gamer Zero. There's something that has happened, Chat Pack, that has disrupted this virtuous cycle, and something is broke. That, people, is called Gamepass and the acquisition of the ABK deal. Because what Jim Ryan is not saying in this daggum article is that Call of Duty was the reason for funding their first-party games, and they were able to send those games out. Ryan's view on this isn't unique to Sony. Most AAA publishers are reluctant to put their most recent games into subscription service. You see how they're doing all this talking? You see how they're doing all this talking? The counter argument is that by putting your latest titles into PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, you're potentially widening your audience. Expedition 33 dropped when? Day one in Game Pass, didn't it, people? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yep, it did.
Okay. Did it stop it from growing? Did it stop it from being a success, Rez?
Nope.
Doom dropped day one. Did it stop it from being the biggest selling title of all
The
of
most
the history of
successful Doom of all
Thank you.
Dooms.
Of all time.
Yep.
Okay. What else? What else hit? What else hit Game Pass day one?
Starfield.
Oh, Starfield. Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Stalker 2. Who was that? Atomic Heart. They said, man, they dropped their game and they was able to make a new studio. So I'm gonna say this again. You're listening to Little Bank and Little Bank's capabilities. Little Bank capabilities can't do what Big Bank does. So you're listening to a Little Bank capability. Little Bank says they can't put their first-party titles on PlayStation Plus. That's a Little Bank problem. That's a wee Little Bank problem. That's not a Big Bank problem. So as you can see, this is about the money. Don't put Game Pass in this. PlayStation, the counter argument is that by putting your latest titles into PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game, now I'll leave Xbox Game Pass out of this. Xbox Game Pass has been doing this since 2017. You're potentially widening your audience. Potentially? No, Game Pass widens its audience. There's no potential, nothing to it. Overnight, your new release could have tens of millions of players. And if your game has other forms of monetization in it, then the revenue potential is significant. Now listen to what they say. You want to see how they talk? They want to make this stuff really unrealistic, right? They said tens of millions. Come on, y'all. Look, there's not one gaming service that put out tens of millions on a consistent basis. All right, every now and then you get a hit like Starfield or something like that, or your Forza Horizon. Okay, we get that. But that's not every day. But you see how they talk? But even if your game doesn't have microtransactions, Xbox believes that subscriptions combined with streaming is the key to finding new console players. Okay. So they want to throw Xbox in this article. You notice the trend. You're interviewing Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan is telling you about PlayStation, but for some reason, donkeys find a way to keep Xbox in their mouth. This article could not stay on topic and stay on PlayStation. Because to donkeys, it's not about PlayStation. Xbox is a curse to them. Now, my question is, to that, what I just read, if Xbox believes in subscriptions combined with streaming is the key to finding new console players, if that's not true, then how else are these companies going to do it? If Game Pass PC ain't on PC, how is the PC gamers going to flock to Xbox? How do you get more engagement? If you don't crossplay or do anything like that. You know the funny part? Call of Duty, Fortnite does these things. You know, the games that are bigger than the actual platforms, you know, like PUBG, you know, Candy Crush, Minecraft. You notice how I've not said one Sony game. And I told y'all this was coming. I told y'all years ago that in order for Sony to get to the next generation successfully, they're going to have to find a live service game that's going to be able to continue money going to them, in which they still haven't been able to find. On top of the problem is your fan base. They're not willing to buy. This is why live service games are beautiful. Not all. Not saying all games got to be them, but that's the beauty of them. Fortnite, free to play. Anybody get on it. Minecraft, free to play. Anybody get on it. They get on these games. Apex, they get on them. And they play. And they form communities. And they make big money. They gain players from all parts of the spectrum, from mobile, console to PC. It works. There's no question into it. But Ron's perspective is a pragmatic one. And PlayStation's current position on this is entirely subject to change. Oh, really? The way the world is changing so very quickly at the moment, nothing is forever, he tells us. Who would have said even 4 years ago you would see a AAA PlayStation IP being published on PC? We did. Where was Jim Ryan at when Xbox fans laughed at donkeys and said, y'all are laughing at Xbox, but guess what? We know by history that whatever Xbox does, PlayStation follows. We've been saying PlayStation games are going to hit PC last generation. But listening to Jim Ryan, he'll make you think that nobody knew this. So we're going to say that again because that was funny, right? The way the world is changing, and notice how he, in his own way, is saying what Xbox is doing is right. Xbox is changing. Jim Ryan said it. The way the world is changing. Hold on. So you mean to tell me that it's okay to change? Jim Ryan agrees with that. So you're telling me that what Microsoft is doing, right, by expanding their games is a good thing because the world is changing, people. That's Jim Ryan. Wait a minute. The way the world is changing so very quickly at the moment, nothing is forever. He tells us, who would have said even 4 years ago that you would see AAA PlayStation IPs being published on PC? We would. We did. We started that last year with Horizon Zero Dawn, and then Days Gone, and now God of War, and then Spider-Man, and then this, and then that, and then Helldivers. Bro, we knew y'all were going to do it because don't see what Jim Ryan's not telling you is we have to do it because our lazy ass, cheap ass fan base don't buy games. That's what he don't want to say. A hugely polished and accomplished PC version of that game. So when you play their games on PC, you're getting the best version. We've had great critical success and great commercial success, and everybody has made their peace with what's happening, and it's completely at ease with it. Oh, I look back 4 years and think nobody would have seen that coming because you're in a dumbass fan base community. The Xbox community could have told you what you was doing 4 years ago. So I don't want to cast anything in stone at this stage. All I'm talking to today is the approach we're taking in a short term. In a short term. That's why you didn't keep your job. Okay. Because the PlayStation now is into the long-term solutions, not short-term. So we see that you just like Sean Layden, y'all had to go. Y'all were only into the short-term fixing. The way our publishing models work right now, it doesn't make any sense. I bet it does now. But things can change very quickly in this industry, as we all know. Outside of what PlayStation isn't doing with its new IPs on PlayStation Plus subscription options, is worth talking about what it is doing. At a basic level, it is bringing together its PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now subscription service, of course. Because if you kept PlayStation Now's subscription service separate, it was dog shit. You didn't even have 1 million people on it. So you had to combine it to try to make it look like something. Which together total 50 million subscribers. Now, I told y'all at that time in 2022, what they hit at their height was 48 million. So he already told you that they only had 2 million PlayStation Now subscribers. You add both of them and you have 50 million subscribers because we know that at no time has PlayStation Plus hit 50 million subscribers. I'm cooking. So it makes sense to unite these two services together. And for those 75%, they'll find their overall cost going down. Looking at pricing generally, there they are. Tiers to the PlayStation Plus and to PlayStation Plus Essentials is identical to PlayStation Plus today and is priced the same. We all know the price changed. PlayStation Plus Extra adds in a library of PlayStation 4 games, which they don't play, and PlayStation 5 games. $15 a month. We all know these prices went up. Whereas PlayStation Pro Premium includes all that plus game trials, game streaming, and a collection of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games. Why? We don't know because they don't play them damn games. PlayStation has a problem. They're not releasing these games, y'all. And they want to try to tell you that they're standing tall on something. They're standing tall on their weakness. This is why now, 2 days ago, you hear this guy comes out. PlayStation exec says first-party games won't be released on PlayStation Plus on day one. We sort of stayed true to our strategy across the board because you can't afford to do anything else. Rez, Xbox brand, Spawn 117. I got 3 golden mics with platinum baguettes on it, with green emeralds shining. Chat pack, salute. We came to cook. I ain't done yet. Rez, grab a mic, man. What do you think? Brand, jump in whenever you can.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever. You just go ahead and you keep cooking.
Oh, y'all. Oh, okay. Hey, look.
You've been
You
going
just
on.
made. Rez, you got anything to say? Made my day.
I think Jim kind of spilled the beans a lot on Sony's strategy and what their beliefs are and how they're going to keep approaching the game industry. People just weren't paying enough attention and, thought that, he was actually going to make a big difference when he was trying to shift what they were doing because he saw it that where the direction they were going was not sustainable, was not something that was going to keep the business going. I mean, Sean Layden even hinted at it with, the ballooning budgets, the amount of development time to make those games that at the time that the fans wanted. They knew at some point it was going to be too much, but they had already gone down that path, and they felt like they were comfortable relying on their third-party revenue, right? Relying on Call of Duty for so long that they never thought that Microsoft would buy ABK, right? So they were never concerned. It was never anywhere in the back of their minds. And if it wasn't, they never took it seriously because we saw it play out, right? How frantic they were, how much fighting they did, how much bartering or discussions they had with the different European and American trade organizations to try to stop the deal, right? Because they knew they'd be in a lot of financial trouble. Because what they're doing isn't sustainable. It isn't. I mean, there's going to get to a point where they're going to run out of money to invest in new things, to invest in live service games. I mean, they've already failed multiple times already. They've already canceled multiple projects. They don't have much gas left in the tank. They're really kind of searching for that one last, that they're giving it that, that when you go to the casino and you blow all your money and you've got like a little bit left and you basically try to pick a random machine and just kind of take your luck, right? Try your luck, see if they can finally hit that pot of gold. And really it's backfiring them really badly right now. And they make the genius decision to continue on with the live service gamble by purchasing Bungie, which they couldn't really afford to begin with, but they're going down that route. Marathon is in a lot of trouble. They just delayed the game. That's just more bad news for Sony. They're kind of spiraling right now. They really need these next four first-party titles to sell well, and not even just that. They really have to find that good live service. They have to find a sustainable revenue generator outside of PS Plus, because we see the PS Plus numbers are declining, so they can't rely on that too much. They need something else to keep their business going. They even admitted it that Call of Duty was what basically drove a lot of their investments into their next first party games. So without that, they're relying on a smaller piece of the pie from Microsoft, right? Or from Nintendo, from their third-party deal, or from their third-party deals, their money hat deal, their timed exclusivity deals. They're really kind of relying on short change right now. And for a business, that's not really something you want to do, because, it's not the same as 30-70 is not the same as 70-30. And having that difference of a return on investment is a big deal, especially when they're not doing well right now. in terms of revenue and growing the business. And a lot of the reasons why they said they're not doing anything differently, that they're not following Microsoft's strategy. It's not that they don't want to, they can't. This is what I think. I think they can't do that because they can't afford it. So I pretty much believe that they're banking on hitting a live service game, and they're just going to continue doing what they're doing and rely on PS Plus and the 3070 deals with the different partners to try to keep them scraping along, like kind of just getting that gas in the car, just getting it barely to work and back, and just hoping that maybe they'll hit that big pot of oil, and get them to where they can have gas for years to come. But I just don't think that's going to happen, and it's going to get to a point where they're going to start running out of money, and we're going to see less and less investment. They're going to pull back more, which means they're going to do what Microsoft and a lot of other companies are doing, which is they're going to lay off more of their workforce, reduce the staff from the studios, which means longer development times, potentially more quality issues with QA and other things that could go with cutting your staff with their new potential games. Everything's going to kind of fold like a stack of cards, slowly but surely. It really is like they can't really afford too many more mistakes or running into too many more failures, because I don't even honestly. I'm actually surprised that they're able to invest in the PlayStation 6. Maybe they're stowing away that revenue that they're getting from the PS5 to invest in it, and they're pulling it from other ventures. There might even be come a time pretty soon where they're going to have to start borrowing more money and putting themselves more into debt just to keep going. I think that's what's going to happen, especially if they lose these upcoming lawsuits that they have, because they've been actually overcharging their customers too, despite all this, and they're still not doing good. Even with knowing that, even with taking advantage of their customers, like milking them for everything they're worth, nickel and diming them for every little thing. That's why they're doing it, is because they're trying to get every little piece of potential money they can get out of anything that they sell or have as a product, whether it's software or hardware, because they're desperate. Like I said, they're really gambling on this live service strategy, and they doubled down in the recent strategy meeting that they had. They don't want to. They're basically saying that they're kind of all in on this. We'll see if it pays off. I honestly don't think it will. Even if they didn't go down the live service route, let's say if they just continued making the first party games, I don't think, like Jim Ryan said, I don't think it would have been sustainable either way. They're kind of screwed, honestly, because they don't. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what Sony needs right now to survive?
Yeah.
A game like Starfield. That's what they need. They don't have
Starfield would definitely help drive revenue, just because it does have that element where you can buy mods, and that does help to continue to drive that revenue stream. That's something that Sony is in desperate need of getting a revenue stream to be able to help them continue their budgets. Now, everyone has been talking about the fact that what has changed? Is it that the people aren't playing their games more, or whatever? And that it didn't change nothing for ABK to get bought by Microsoft, right? Because they were already the low account portion of it. They weren't getting the higher amount of gamers playing Call of Duty. But what it did do, and this is what Jim Ryan was trying to allude to, was that instead of that 70% going to an outside company such as ABK, where that money is now going to your direct competitor, the person now owns that very powerful industry. And while you can say, yes, 30% is the amount you're giving that to Sony, They were going to be doing that regardless, whether it was bought or whether it was not bought. So now Sony is having to get that other 70% to Microsoft. They're getting that big old chunk. And now they, as a competitor, are getting a large amount of money stream revenue. And that's what they were afraid of, because you're seeing your own players banking and making the success to Microsoft. Microsoft's been doing this for years. People can say all they want to that PlayStation has the largest amount of players, and they do, but 48% of them haven't even bought the brand new console. Okay, so if they're not even buying the new console, and they mostly don't play as many online games as Xboxers do. Now, I would say probably per capita, I would say our people actually play more Xbox. You know, the Xbox generators, the players. These guys commit to live service. Why? Because we've been conditioned that way. We've got Halos, we've got Gears, we've got all these multiplayer games, and now what's happening is all those games are going over to Sony, and guess what? People are buying those games. They're not buying the games like the Concords. They're not going after the games like the Marathons, with Marathon being an absolute development hell because Bungie made some serious problems. And Sony didn't say, you know what, you got some problems in your background. Fix that before we even take you on. No, they said, you know what, we have to move forward. Let's go ahead and start bringing these live service games to the forefront. And we don't have the technical expertise to do that. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. So they buy Bungie, and then they bring all that extra baggage. Over the last 10 years, they have been nothing but problems. And it has been perpetual over all of these years. There has been year after year after year after year of the same problems. Sony should have said, that's why Microsoft didn't buy them. They did approach Microsoft. They wanted Microsoft to buy them. And they said, ain't no hell, no way. And guess what? Sony did. And now Sony has to deal with that problem. And that problem is all of these people that didn't get paid. So now you got to deal with that problem. And meanwhile, your players, your own family base is buying Xbox games and buying all of that stuff over there and giving more revenue stream to Xbox.
They don't even want to pre-order the Destiny 2 game.
Exactly.
50% drop. Have no interest.
Yeah, people don't
Almost
trust
like
that.
Sony's kind of given up on their players, right? Because they've been going different. They're trying to go. They're reaching, right? They're going different directions. They're like, well, let's expand upon multimedia. Let's go after Crunchyroll. Let's have a partnership with Crunchyroll. Let's do anime because anime is really popular with the kids, right? They're trying to attract people in different ways just outside of their games. They're trying to pull people into the ecosystem by giving them benefits that they can't really compete with Microsoft on, like in terms of Gamepass. Like they can't do day and date with their first party because they need this money. They need the sales. So what other things can they do, right? Like movie, film, anime, right? Like that's stuff that they're trying to kind of broaden their spectrum of how can we attract people or pull more people in if our games aren't doing it, right?
Well, that's part of the problem too, right? So Sony has a vast array of things they used to be super great at, right? They had movies, and then they had the PlayStations, right? And they didn't have a real strong competitor of Microsoft really dishing out games, who now is dealing out more games than anybody. But they used to have these stellar movies that would come out and all this and that. Well, they've just been having flop after flop after flop, and they've got to continue each one of those businesses, keeping them as strong as they can, and still remain bringing in a high amount of profit revenue that they're not being able to bring in. They're in single digits. What was it last year? They reported that they were in low single digit revenue growth. I mean, come on, people, you've got to do more than that. And you've got to keep all these things that are extremely expensive. Making movies ain't cheap. What was it? Was it Morbius or whatever it was? Had flopped as a movie because it didn't even make the marketing rights on it.
Right. Six movies in a row.
Yeah, Madam
Six
Web.
Sony movies in a row flop.
I mean, absolutely terrible. And even the one that did succeed, which was the Spider-Man movie, right?
Right.
Over half of that movie money went directly to Disney, so that they would be able to continue to
That's
make
facts.
Spider-Man games. Because I actually heard about this the other day.
That's facts.
The deal was that Disney would take the larger percentage of the money because that would allow Sony to continue to make video games with Spider-Man's name in the video game market. They don't own that. All they own is the movie rights name of Spider-Man. That's the reason why everyone that wants to have Spider-Man in the movie has got to talk to Sony, because they own the rights for that. However, they don't own it for any comic books. They don't own it for any of the video games. The name belongs to Marvel.
That's right.
And Marvel can continue to dominate. And that's why Marvel took the largest percentage of money off of that. And I learned that the other day only because I had a guy that actually works in the movie industry. And he said that's how the contracts worked on that. He said so that they could continue to make those Spider-Man video games that seem to be very popular on the Sony platform. And this is another thing. Just it's kind of floats into the whole subject of this whole thing. I was thinking about the other day. You know, people have been griping about Xbox giving out all these games, right? Everyone, you know, saying all these games going over Sony, we're not getting nothing in return. Well, that's not exactly true, because if you look at
explain that Xbox brand,
let's look
Mr.
at
Bushido. Explain that to him. Mr. Bushido says, so why can't anyone else make a Spider-Man game? Explain that to him.
So these games are actually going to be coming to now Xbox, right?
Right.
It may be 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But if they come to the PC market, where now Sony has to rely on PC markets, which is funny, they have to rely on that market. Those come directly to the Xbox platform. Why? Because we said, you know what, we're tired. This is what Microsoft said. We're tired of having closed doors. So we're going to let everybody sell all of their platforms now on our consoles. Well, that's going to hurt your business. Well, it was already hurting their business. If they put it on their console, that'll mean they'll get more driving sales off of console players. Why? Because they surely weren't going to be buying a PC anyways. For the most part, console players are console players, and you got PC players being PC players. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me explain this. Let me explain this question that Mr. Bushido asked you. He says, so why can't anyone else make a Spider-Man game?
Because again, the deals that have been made between
Microsoft,
between Disney. Remember, originally Spider-Man was propped out there. The video game could have been made by Microsoft.
My man did his research. There you go. Now bring him. Now bring Mr. Bushido on up. That's why I didn't know you knew that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
In the beginning, they propped Microsoft and they refused.
Right.
Now, this wasn't when Jim Ryan was, or when Phil Spencer was in there. That wasn't when Phil Spencer was indoors. No. This was when they had old management, and they didn't think that it would be a success. So what did they do? They said to Sony, hey, would you like to make a game for Spider-Man? And they said, absolutely. Let's deal with Insomniac, who's not real. They didn't own it at the time. They didn't own Insomniac.
Well, let's go even deeper than that. It really wasn't Spider-Man. Sony picked Spider-Man. They actually, when Microsoft didn't want to do the Spider-Man, Marvel was like, okay, look. They went to Sony and was like, look, we have a variety of characters. They just Disney wanted to get in and make some money with video games, right? They saw the market growing. So they're like, hey, you can pick whatever you want. We got Hulk, we got Iron Man, we got the Avengers, we got it. And Sony picked Spider-Man. Because why? Because they were already known for putting out the movies for Spider-Man.
Yes.
There you go.
Spider-Man.
It was more relative with them than it was Microsoft. Microsoft saw the data and was like, well, you know what? Spider-Man only sells 1 million. It's not worth our money to invest in something that only sells 1 million. Because let's be honest, it's true. Spider-Man games were niche up until the brag and the bag versions of Spider-Man, right? When the donkeys have something to brag about, when they find out something is exclusive, that's when they'll buy it. All these prior to Spider-Man games, PlayStation fans didn't go crazy over those games. Continue, Xbox brand. Continue.
So Microsoft turned up that bag, and Sony took it, and that's what's given them the rights to make the game. So because they did very well on their very first version of throwing Spider-Man out in the market, it sold exceptionally well. Then their Miles Morales edition, that sold very well. Now, Spider-Man 2 didn't sell as well in the opening days, and that I think had a lot to do with the bugs that were in play. But and also the fact that the game was using a lot of the same old assets. So there was a lot of oldness in the game that just didn't really add to the new flavor of what they were wanting. Now, I think the game for me, Spider-Man is a niche market to me, just because I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. I've always been more of a Batman guy. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. The point is, Microsoft didn't take that one, and that's why they can't make any of those games, because they are an exclusive contract with Disney. Now, if Disney said, you know what, hey, I'm going to work out a deal with Microsoft, and I'm going to port out the Spider-Man name, let's say the contract upends, and they say, you know what, I'm going to move the gaming portion of Spider-Man, we're going to move it over to Microsoft because they have a broader reach, they can do that. Why? Because Sony has no control over the IP name itself. All they have control over is movie rights for
That's
Spider-Man.
correct.
That's it. That's the only thing they have.
Yo, Pyro, send that link in here for everybody to see. Send that link in here, brother. Put it in the comment section. Pyro got some more information to that for those who may not know the whole complete story on that. So
It's a timed contract too. I think, what is it, like in 2028
that's right.
or 2030, something like that?
That's correct, because this is what I believe. It's whenever Miles Morales animated movie ends. That's a trilogy contract. So when that ends, that ends. Okay, yeah, that'd be good, man. I can't flip from it right now. I'm on mobile right now. That's why I asked you to put it in the comment section, but that's cool. Because
So
people need to know that. People need to understand that.
yeah, people need to read up a little bit on the history of that. And I'll be
What's
honest.
up, Kima?
I'll be honest with the entire panel. I didn't know until I actually looked into it, because someone had brought that information to me. And they had, hey, man, you need to do your research on what happened and how it happened and why it happened. So just dig a little bit into it. You'll find out it's a very full story. And like I said, it'll do you as an individual, as a gamer, to see exactly how the gaming market kind of works. And sometimes, that some people miss on a bag because they just decide they want to go a different direction. So that'd be for anybody in this, anybody that's here in the chat or whichever. Just look it up online, and you can. It's a very long story, so I just say take a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. Another thing that cracks me up is now all of a sudden we're talking about Microsoft layoffs. Like, bro, let's just be serious right here. I'm gonna be serious. Nobody cares, bro. People get laid off every single day. They're human beings. Developers are human beings, just like we are. If you got laid off tomorrow, nobody cares. Nobody's going to broadcast the fact that you got laid off. You're going to have to get up and go find you another job. That's the real world. We are gamers. Yes, it does affect the industry. But we're talking about Microsoft, who is about to be a $5 trillion company. So what does that tell me? If they was a 3.3 and they're about to be a 5 trillion, does that mean Microsoft is going down or going up? So whatever these layoffs are happening with a $1 trillion company, understand this. You got a fan base that is jockeying a little bank company compared to a $1 trillion company. Sony is worth $90 billion. You want to know how much my Xbox makes? Xbox makes in a year $80 billion. Sony's worth 10 more billion dollars of what Xbox makes. You can't make this stuff up. Nintendo is worth more than Sony. I think Nintendo is like 110 billion. Nintendo's worth more than Sony. Xbox is going to be just fine, because did we not look at the Xbox showcase? Did we not see the future of Xbox? Did we not see all these games from all these studios? Did we not literally not see that, Red? Other Zinc, did we not just see this? Now I'm gonna say this again. I don't care who you listen to, right? But I know when I can, I like to listen to Other Zinc. I've always liked listening to my brother, Unlimited Production. There's not a lot of people out here you know, that talk with sense and gonna get commended for it. I listen to my brother, Mr. King. I call him up. We can chat. But let's just be for real, Mr. Bushido. Nobody cares. This is the silly side of it all. Okay, Microsoft's about to lay some people off. Okay. All right. We're Xbox fans. That the game, look, Xbox fans and Xbox gamers are only going to be concerned when we can't play no video games. We know one thing, that when Microsoft lays off people, they don't just tend to lay them off. They help them the best way they can. A lot of times they put them in other areas of work. But if you have a resume with Microsoft, you're going to get hired. You're going to get hired somewhere else. But we down here at the bottom, we don't care. Nobody cares about if we lose a job. So let's weigh this. Donkeys are going to bring up that Xbox fans are going to be sad next week because massive layoffs. No, we're not. No, we're not. But let me tell you what you're going to be sad about when that $7.9 billion lawsuit hit y'all asses, because that's going to affect y'all directly. You think you ain't seen games in 2.5 years now. Wait till they lose that lawsuit that they've been shafting y'all asses about. Y'all so damn dumb. Look, you can't even make this up, people. They're supporting a company that's been stealing from them, literally stealing from them. Now, when I'm telling them this is what they're doing. We don't hear you. We don't hear you, legal. We don't hear you. But if you want to laugh, laugh. It's okay to laugh at this because it's hilarious. You got the same people on Twitter X or in comment sections telling Xbox gamers they're going to be upset because Microsoft is about to do some layoffs like Microsoft ain't never done layoffs before. But Sony's about to get this massive $7.9 billion lawsuit on their ass that they're going to lose. I want everybody to put it down on DIRREC Gaming that the new league already said this. And I'm saying
no way they're going to win that. They're definitely in the wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I'm going to say it with a straight face. No laughter in my eyes, no laughter in my heart. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Sony's going to lose that lawsuit, okay? If you think after they lose that lawsuit, you're going to get all these games, well, you can think that all you want. It's not going to happen. And then I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When it sets in, because it's already setting in right now to the independent.
They better buy The Last of Us remastered 5 times, Famo.
You can laugh about it. Facts. Start clowning them. Facts. Because you got to be a special kind of dumb. It just takes a special kind of dumb. I will give it to them. They have a special kind of dumb, J-Mac. That's legendary, right? It's legendary. But you are literally supporting a company that's been stealing from you. Your blind fury for Xbox has you love is blind for PlayStation. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. They're so busy hating on Xbox.
Ignore it. They just pretend like it doesn't exist, right? All the negativity with the company, they just act like it's not even there.
Mr. Bushido, come on, bro. Don't do this.
Look, I'm gonna say this
hold on, Xbox brand. Don't tell me that this is true, Xbox brand. Y'all better not tell me this is true.
What do you mean?
Look at the comment on screen.
I can't really see it. I'm about.
Oh, he's busy. Oh, okay, Rez, tell me this is not true. That's not true, bro.
I can't see that small.
Mr. Bushido said they just got Little Big Planet remastered.
Another remaster.
Look, nobody.
Is that true?
I mean, why would it be a surprise? I mean, Shuhei said it. I mean, they're banking on remasters.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh
what
my
Yoshida had said.
gosh. She said
Yeah.
it's 100% true.
Well, that I mean, didn't Yoshida? Did he not say that if you don't buy them, if you don't buy these remasters, then Sony does not have the capital to make these other great
Don't
AAA.
expect. Yep. Don't expect first
Don't
party. Yep.
don't expect any first party if you don't contribute. So you got to do your part. All right, Sony fans, get out there and buy those games. You guys aren't even hitting even 10% of your market. Come on, people. That's just seven. That what is that?
I really
Seven.
want to see those
Seven
No,
Death
million.
that's true.
Stranding 2
Xbox brand has
sales.
7 million copies. You're right.
That's all you got to do.
That's
Come
all
on,
you got to do,
guys.
brother. You got one job. Y'all got one job. And here's the funny part. Brand's making a point with this, y'all. This is a global, y'all can laugh at this. This is a global effort. This is a global effort. All y'all need to do is hit 7 million. Y'all can't even do that. As a global effort, J-Man.
75 million consoles.
And they can't average 7 million in sales as a collective worldwide. You can't make this stuff. Look, man, look. At the end of the day, y'all, this is why I switched it. I'm literally bored of making them look dumb. It's boring. Okay? You can like what you like. You can say what you want to say. But at the end of the day, right? That lawsuit is going to cripple Sony. It's going to hurt them. On top of the fact, how you think they're going to make up for that? What are they going to make? Listen to what Xbox brand just said. Y'all don't even hit your quote. You don't even hit your quota, right? You don't average 7 million sales. Others think you can't make this stuff up, y'all. Look, man, I did not know that Little Big Planet was remastered. Y'all have hit an all-time low. I can't even laugh at that. That's how I can't even get my laughter in. This is pathetic. They just stopped making Sackboy, but you want to make a remaster of a game that you discontinued the whole character on. But, like,
You know they're not going to buy it either.
they're not buying the game. Okay, they're not buying it. They're about to get this $7.9 million lawsuit loss. They have no live service game. They have no multiplayer games. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. The zealot, the Sony only knee fan with knee pads on, they're going to buy whatever Sony throws out. They don't care if they get shafted. They don't care. They do not care. They're going to go out there tomorrow, whenever the Insomniac has their what is it? Their not their underpants. Whenever the underpants come on sale, these guys are gonna go out and buy them and wear them on dates on date night. They're gonna go out to eat with their girlfriends with those underpants on. Right? You're not gonna stop them. But the thing is, people, the independent gamer, and there's millions of them on PlayStation that don't even know why they bought one, right? They just bought one. I bought one because the GameStop employee told me it was the great system and they have great exclusives. That's why I bought it. Okay. That person, millions of them, you know what they're doing today? They're scratching their heads and they're saying, I made the wrong purchase. Everything that they told me about the PlayStation is a lie. And this is how I know. I got a great friend of mine who's a root gamer. Y'all know him, Spidey King. Military veteran, none but salute, none but respect for him. All around just gamer, right? I never thought I would ever hear him say, Legal, this is the last PlayStation console I'm buying. Because I know him personally on how he purchased. I know how he purchased. And at some point, you can't justify the dumbest of what's going on. And when I thought that what he told me was a big surprise, just a couple of days ago, guess who told me they're not buying another PlayStation? Y'all ain't gonna believe this. But yours truly, Crazy Lou, told me. Said, Legal, I'm not buying another PlayStation. And we all know how crazy Lou just likes to play games. Because you can't justify Mr. Bushido, Mr. Pyro, MD, others in Ray Chi, Mr. Kima, the whole chat pack community, that y'all are out there. Y'all are in the gaming streets. People in their right minds can't justify their purchase anymore. Only a zealot will lie. Only a zealot. We're not talking about the zealot. We're talking about the independent gamer.
Well, the fact that now that players will be able to have every single front to be able to buy from, Sony having a locked platform
There you go.
them to getting all access. They haven't worked out no deals with GOG, Epic, and Steam, but Microsoft,
GeForce, they ain't got none of those
low
gigs.
end of the bottom of the scum pool from what everyone has been saying. But yet these homies went and got it for you. They're the ones that are sitting back and going, you know what? Let's game preserve. Let's make sure you can play all your games native on the ROG Ally. Let's make sure that you can continue to play great games. Let's make sure that more gamers are playing games. We don't care about those other guys. You know why? Because we can't change them. But what we can do is our own market, and we're going to make things better for everybody. And that's what they did. They worked it out. And guess what? Don't worry about Microsoft making money. That's their part. That's the corporate thing. Let them worry about the money. Let us worry about playing great games.
That's it.
And we are going to have more options than ever before. This is the best thing in gaming. And Sony will eventually have to adopt this. They will eventually say, you know what? Let's go ahead and we have to make all games available on all platforms at the very same time. Why? Because it's money revenue stream. Okay? Even a 70-30, that 70% is still better than 0%. I'm telling you guys.
They're going to hold off to the last minute, but they will have to eventually.
You're right. This thing about, I like what Jay Rich just said. PlayStation is done for 2026 and beyond. It's facts.
That is a fact.
You know why this is facts? We just got confirmation that Wolverine ain't coming out no time soon. That was their last big time AAA game. We saw what Insomniac is focused on, Underpants. 2026 is going to belong to Xbox. Oh, what is this about Grand Theft Auto? What happened to Grand Theft Auto? Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I got that right. I may be lying about Grand Theft Auto, but hold on. Y'all can still hear me. I wanted to look up something. Y'all still hear me, right? Oh, not Grand Theft Auto. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Well, I'm tripping. Look, I'm glad that Jay Rich said that. Mr. Bushido, Wolverine look like poop anyway. It's facts. But look, we gotta be fair, right? And give it credit. We gotta give it credit. We gotta talk about it, right? But think about it. Back to the PlayStation 5 console, right? This console has been the most disappointing console. Shoot, man, it's this console right here. Okay, I'll just put it like this. I wouldn't say disappointing, but I would say this. This console is the most redone, retricked, revamped, re-strategized console in history. And that's a fact. 7 variations. We got the confirmation as to why Sony was struggling with PlayStation 5 out the gate with parts being expensive. So then they had to go to cheaper parts. Then you know there are actual PlayStation 5s out here that are not even identical. Xbox brand, Resident Gamer, Spawn117 chat pad, you can't even make this stuff up. Your neighbor may, when you break down your PlayStation, because you know you guys are the only ones with screws and screwdrivers. So when you break it down, y'all might have different components. When have you ever in your life, 30 below, thought that another console wouldn't be exactly like yours at any point in time in your gaming life? When I was growing up, if we broke an NES and we looked inside of it, it's gonna look just like the next one. Not today. Your fans might be different. Something over here might be different. Something over there might be different. because PlayStation just started putting anything up in their console to make it work. They went with this old strategic liquid metal, which everybody was telling them this is a horrific engineering design. It's outdated. They gave you an out. Look, I've been telling y'all PlayStation was outdated, right? But then look at the design. The design for the console is outdated. You can't make this stuff up. The way they built the PlayStation 5 is outdated. Microsoft Surface team behind Goose and them, they created this console, and even PC enthusiasts, PC builders can't even build this. The Xbox Series X goes against logic. It goes against logic of how you do a PC build. It goes against logic how you put a rig together. This thing is compact. While PCs need vents on the sides and all of this stuff, fans blowing, this damn thing is squeezed in like a sandwich and has a tornado vortex that blows the air upward out of the console. You can lay it down, it blows out. You can stand it up, it blows up through the top. The blades are meant, they're specially created to convey the wind out, to take the hot air out. It's crazy when you think about it. You don't even have PCs doing stuff like this. Death Stranded 2, y'all. That's what it is. Death Stranded 2 is a new era game. It is a new era game put inside of an old, outdated console. And you got a mixture of disaster. We're getting the reports now that Death Stranding 2 is overheating the PlayStation 5. You heard that right. Overheating the damn console. A video game.
Not the first time either.
It's not. You got a video game overheating the console. Make that make sense. Because when you got a poor design, this is what happens. They was out there bragging, bumping their gums. Now your console overheats. Why do we make excuses for PlayStation? Oh, because, they have a track. Nobody cares about that anymore. The independent gamer could care less about the history and track record that the donkey media displays for it, pampers for it. That gamer is going to buy an Xbox next. How do we know this? Because like Jay Rich said, Game Pass is king. Game Pass has grown 5 million. It went from 30 to 34 to 35. And that's a late estimate. We saw that over 40-something% of the PC gamers now are subscribed to Xbox Game Pass PC. What does that tell you about the Xbox community? Are y'all listening to me? Pyro, I don't think they get it. The majority of people who are putting in work for Game Pass, you guessed it, it's on Xbox. We're almost split. And I'm going to tell you right now, it really doesn't matter because Xbox is PC. All you idiots out there, the joke's on you. Because Microsoft put the documentary out. If you too stupid to not understand that the Xbox all along was going to become a PC, well, that's on you. Us real Xbox fans have just been waiting for this day. Now we're fixing to finally get our real Xbox again. We didn't have to wait for 4 different damn generations to get it. We miss our OG Xbox. Now we're fixing to get that bad boy 3.0. All the bells and whistles. Xbox gamers ain't never had to go get no damn PC. We stand on business because we were waiting for this to happen. Now, all the games come to us. We didn't have to go anywhere. The games are going to come to us. Rez, you got something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Brand. There was a Spanish Twitter news not insider but reporter. He's similar to Xtest, but he's not Xtest. But they saw on one of the major European gaming sites the potential price of the Rogue Ally X, and it was like around 840 euros. So give or take $50. If the Ally X is probably between 700 to 800, is that still a day one for you, or is that too out of your price range?
Well, the price range was not the issue for me. I was just saying that I wasn't a mobile guy. So now, as far as the console, that will be a
You
day
can
one.
dock it, by the way, and play it on your TV.
And I will play any of them that is the actual Xbox console. That is a day one for me.
Yeah, see, I've already got the ROG Ally, so what I'm thinking about doing is taking mine, getting in the trade program at Best Buy, and buying the Xbox ROG because it just makes sense. I game on Xbox. I don't game on PC. And what people don't understand is this. The Xbox, like Matt Booty was saying earlier this year, Xbox fans are going to, if you stay on Xbox, you will always gain the most benefits for being on Xbox. There's a lot of people that just went over their heads because they don't understand. You don't have quick resume on PC. You don't have velocity architecture on PC. Group communities, club communities. You don't have all of that stuff all in one package. Of course, you don't have well, you do have, depending on how many screens you have. But on Xbox, we can surf just like you can on PC. We can surf just like you can on PC. But it's that instant gaming effect that you just don't get on PC. We used to be underperformed, but now we're not. You can go out right now and buy a new TCL TV, 65-inch TCL, a Chinese TV with 144 hertz on it, and we're not even talking about VR added to it. The reason why you don't see a lot of these PC gamers running their mouths anymore, because they've been exposed. They're 1080p 60 framers, bro. That's what they are. Very small elite class in the PC realm are doing 4K 120 or all that other stuff. Very elite class. Because console is starting to tell people that you don't need all of that to perform. That's what console is saying. And when you got Microsoft, right, who can self-integrate. Notice what else PC don't have like console, like the Xbox console has. It doesn't utilize the cloud like the Xbox console does. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Those cloud saves and all of that, that's going to PC, not the other way around. Because of Xbox, PC is going to be a greater platform, not the other way around. Because Microsoft is PC first. It's software first. First. That console is going to be a Leviathan. It's going to have just as many arms as it does heads, man. And there's going to be, as a gamer, you're just going to do what you want to do. Those handhelds have already destroyed PlayStation. It's already destroyed them. PlayStation 5 Pro is trash. It's trash. There's no need to lie about it. It's dog shit. Here comes Microsoft, and they haven't even created their branded one. That's the partnership version handheld has already destroyed PlayStation. in its current situation. Sony goes out here and makes a mid-gen cycle for what? They wasted money on that damn console. For what? It underperforms. But that handheld can play God of War on it, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, whatever else comes up on it that you want to play, you can play it. Imagine you be able to play those games on the next console at your disposal. Now the donkeys that say, well, you got to buy the Steam game. Let me tell y'all how stupid these people are, man. When you buy games on PC gamers don't buy full price, and neither should you. We're not in a hurry to play PlayStation games like y'all are in a hurry to play these great Xbox games. We'll let those play. We'll do like y'all do. We'll let those sales come out, and when the price is right, we'll buy them. Because Sony ain't gonna make no money off of us like that. They're just not. Death Stranding sold his ass off on Xbox for $19.99. Y'all paid top dollar for that game. We didn't. We're gonna have these games on PC. Whenever they go on sale, we'll get them. We're not in no hurry to go buy them. Full price for what? We have too many games on our side to even worry about. See, that's the difference. We're not the same. Y'all don't have no games. So get up off your knees, come bow respectfully to Microsoft and tell Microsoft, thank you. Thank you for letting us play your games.
Yeah,
You should be more honorable. You should be more respectful to Microsoft.
We've been saying for a long time that all they need to do is they need to tell Sony to do better, get more games.
That's it. But they can't because their pride won't let them. Let me tell you something about these zealots. They got a lot of pride. And I know we throw this word pride around in the world. But let me tell you about pride. Pride doesn't do nothing for the world. Pride is a conceited situation. It's true. It's just another fancy word for being conceited. Having too much pride means that you're an individualist. You're all about yourself. So when there's too much pride, there's a lack of humbleness. And we all know that being humble, being meek are the kings of the earth. Being meek is who rules the world, not being prideful. So the world is always going to send lying ass messages because that's the world, right? You got to stand on the truth. You got to stand on business to be able to discern this whole situation. You don't listen to a bunch of stuff just because it gets repeated to you. You don't listen to that when you're knowledgeable. You got all this stuff going around, right? And PlayStation has a lot of pride in it because of Sony. Sony puts a lot of pride into that weak ass console. And then it filters through their base. But as you can see, their base can't even show you the benefits of having a PlayStation because they're too busy talking about Xbox. Notice that, Xbox brand. Notice they are right. You can laugh at this.
That's
Notice how they're demising their own platform because they don't know nothing else to do. We got a 75-year-old dummy out here, 75 years old, console warring on Twitter X. Don't blame that on me. This is your era, Xbox brand. That the cleanup begins with y'all.
Yeah.
Right? Look, I know I'm being funny. Xbox brand is with me. I'm just being funny,
You're
y'all.
you're killing me, man.
Yeah, I kill it. Look, look, I had to put it on somebody. But listen, my son don't pay attention to this stuff, man.
No, it'd be funny. The zealots go after Brand all the time. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look,
shoot, dude. I just go through my stream every day.
hey, look, we're in the wrong era. We know it. We don't belong here. But look, they don't even listen to these young cats. These young cats, notice how these young cats have no voice out here. We're in their era. Because you know why? The young cats actually play video games. They're on Apex, Fortnite, Madden, Call of. They're gaming because they're having too much fun with their community. They're not on social media doing all this yippity yap. What's up, future generation? My guy, my man, 50 grand. Look, I just saw Bushido, and I think it was Other Zinc or somebody in here talking about they're actually playing video games while they're watching the channel. You
Yes,
see what I'm
sir.
saying? You get what I'm saying? Like,
You want to
that's
know
what
you want to know the flip side of this is I've been playing Fortnite this whole time while we've been having this conversation,
facts.
and I'm out playing. You know why? Because that's who I am at heart. I'm a gamer.
Facts.
I've told this to everybody. Yes, do I get in the console wars? I think it's funny because yes, I get in there because there's a lot of minutia and minutia stuff in there
I'm
that I
doing
want
good,
to throw
famo.
back at people. But the whole point is, I'm also out there saying one very clear point. It doesn't matter where you game, whether you game on Nintendo, whether you game on Sony, on a phone, on a TV, whichever way you game. Just game. Play those things that you enjoy. That's the
Yup.
only way the industry is going to perpetuate is for us to continue to buy games, for us to continue to consume games. Microsoft has just made it easier. Why? Because of Game Pass. Game Pass gives you so many options to be able to just do the one thing you love to do, and that's game. Old, new, puzzles, whatever you want, they have it.
Now, Xbox brand, what you just said, right? It's all facts. I don't debate it. But notice how none of them facts 30 below facts. Notice how Nintendo and Sony, we can't rely on pushing the industry forward. See, that's the truth. See, at
Facts.
some point, right, it's okay to play on what you play. But what the problem is, they're not giving the respect to the one that's actually moving the industry.
Yes, sir.
They won't do that because, oh, it's giving too much love to Xbox because they really don't like it. The media and all these people, all this is all malarkey, right? We know pure Xbox is IGN. Pure Xbox isn't fooling anybody. There's only so many places you can go. And as a matter of fact, listen, Sony bought up the gaming media. Sony bought up the gaming media. So just because you flag up an Xbox doesn't make you one of us. It doesn't. You're going to do what you're told to do. Xbox fans do what we want to do. This isn't a job. We speak from the heart. We're doing nothing more than what we've been doing most of our lives. We just now have a platform to do it on. We didn't come here trying to be editors or news anchors. We didn't come here to be content creators. The content was already created. You want to know who that was? The gamers. This is why they're confused. This is why this era is confused. Because they put YouTubers in front of gamers. They put, broadcasters are gamers. So broadcasting, when you see Twitch and stuff, I don't knock that because the only ones I see is when they're not doing games. Twitch was built for gaming, but now it's anything now. Once again, gaming goes to the back burner. You got social media outlets, right? Twitter, X, and gaming ain't on there. It's too much posting. Go to any of these things. So where are you going to find gaming at? On the consoles, on the PC, on the handheld. My son's gaming. He's not interested in what we're doing here. My son rather play with his homies. That's it. He's the content. The gamers are the content. Why? Because without us, the industry don't exist. We create this thing called gaming. Don't ever lose sight of that. Silver Fox, what's good? Don't ever lose sight of that. You are the creator of this whole thing. Anytime you buy games and all that, you're moving it. You're making sure the industry stays here. But what happens is we can't rely. People don't want to tell the truth. Hey man, we can't rely on Nintendo. You see that? Look what the Switch 2 just brought to the table. Now the Switch 2 is having issues. Look at it. You want me to go out here and buy a $500 some console, right? To play Mario Kart. You want to look me dead in my face, and I'm not a Nintendo zealot, right? So if I'm moving over to the Nintendo Spectrum, right? Because I have a Switch, but you put me over to the Nintendo Spectrum, right? As an independent gamer, and you're telling me to pay $500 for a kart game that I've been playing, that I already know what I'm going to do when I get on it. But Xbox is over here with Game Pass. Xbox over here with Play Anywhere. See what I'm saying? Play Anywhere. I can get on my ROM, or I can get on my tablet. Anything that's got the cloud. If you go on the cloud, so I can get on my ROM, use my cloud, right? I can use my cloud game on my ROM. I can play that thing when I'm not around my console. Wherever I stop at, whatever achievement I get, it's already on my console. When I get in there, it's already put in. This is why I love what I see in the 5th year. Instead of making a mid-gen console, I see Microsoft working with the product they already have. And I appreciate you, Silver Fox. Look what's going on when you, as an Xbox gamer, when you cut your Xbox game on now and you go and you pick your game. Look what you see now. You see your hours, you see your stats right there. Because that's what being an Xbox gamer is all about. It's right there. You don't have to go run into your phone anymore. All your stats, all your credentials are right there. That's a gaming platform. We're just one way away from getting our snap back. Get that snap feature back. This is what we need. We need that snap feature back for our achievements, right? We already have the gamer leaderboard, so that's competition within the community. That's fun stuff. But we also need, if we're going to have broadcasting on our Xbox, right? And we already have a way to put our cameras up and hook them up to our Xboxes, right? We're going to have to be able to speak, put your headsets on at least, to your audience without having to use your damn mobile device to do that. We're going to get back to Blades, because Blades made Xbox what it was. The 360 Blades, the Xbox One Blades, they were legendary. No, it doesn't take away from the screen. Stop listening to the haters. The haters said that. Real Xbox fans never said that. They never said that. Fact, Silver Fox. The Xbox is the Incredible Hulk, bro. They can't stop it. When you get something, right, that implements the greatness of the community, it needs to stay. It doesn't need to go anywhere. Put the screen up, put the chat box in there. Hell, StreamYard has a chat box. All we need is a chat box. And you can't tell me it takes away from the screen, because when you hit your menu button and you scroll, you see the blades right there. The blades have never went anywhere. They're in your menu. You scroll. You're broadcasting. You need to be able to see your audience. We have it built in. We need to be able to talk to our audience. That's what gaming is about. When I look at Xbox, I see the work slowly building, slowly getting back to its greatness, because a lot of things got messed up during the Xbox One era. We get it, but they're putting the pieces together. This Xbox experience is going to be true indeed. These independent gamers, you're coming back home. PlayStation let you down. We know it. Well, you coming back home. And for those sneaky dinky Xbox haters, that they're gonna get that handheld. Don't worry. Oh, I ain't buy Xbox, or they're gonna go get that low budget PC. I ain't buying no Xbox. I subscribe to Xbox Gamepass. Well, guess what, bro? You didn't have to buy an Xbox to buy an Xbox. Xbox has been preaching that for about a year now. So you don't have to buy a console, just like I don't have to buy a PlayStation 5. So we're even. This thing is going to come down to talk is cheap. I bought that VR not because it was an Xbox thing. Y'all know how I feel about VR. I ain't buying one damn VR game for that headset. But I thought it was cool that they finally, it took Microsoft, right, to finally make the best headset, give me an exclusive controller to go with it, with already the controllers for the VR set, but I can get in there and get on a 120-foot screen and just wild out on my Xbox games in peace and quiet, block out everything else and just play my Xbox library. I don't know about y'all, but that sold me right there. That sold me. I don't want VR games. I don't want those raggedy pieces of shits. I don't want them. I don't want the 15-minute thrill. I don't want that. I've been inside of a game from Microsoft. Most of these idiots, they ain't never done anything like that. They just bumping their gums. You've never done augmented reality. Don't talk to me. It's on a whole nother level. It runs circles around VR. When you in the game, you are literally in the game. You are literally shooting at something. And guess what I was playing? The almighty Halo. I was in a Spartan outfit. I was Master Chief. I was locked. I was a black Spartan. I was shooting grunts and I was shooting elites. And I felt it when they hit me. I saw warhogs blow up in front of me. I was like I was riding war. I've seen it. I saw when it digitalized the whole room. It put me in space. It put me on a planet. These VR clowns don't even know what that is. They don't even know what I'm talking about. I've seen the greatness of Microsoft because I've been in it. I know what they're capable of doing. Microsoft, if Microsoft was a mean company, it could destroy Nintendo and Sony like that. Just wipe them off the planet. But Microsoft isn't a mean company. Microsoft is a company that takes care of the businesses. The business of Microsoft is to make other businesses better. That's the business of Microsoft. They want you to use their products to make your business better. That's it. Microsoft is happy to see businesses thriving because when they can show you something and partner up with you, then everything is great. I was glad when Aaron Greenberg came back and said, you know, trophies and awards are great, but that ain't what we're here for. Notice, because as Xbox fans, you haven't seen one Xbox game win an award since Jeff Keighley took over the Game Awards. Not one. And I know you question yourself, just like I am. Damn, does Microsoft even give a damn? Damn, how do you go all these years and don't care? Well, Microsoft said, well, here, can you hold this bag for me? The bag falls over and all this money falls out. It almost kills you because you climbing through all this money. And you said, damn, all that was in the duffel bag? And they said, yeah, we already had emergency personnel just in case you couldn't dig yourself out of it. Now that you dug yourself out of it, you saw how hard it was to get through all that. Yeah. I almost died. I almost suffocated. He says, now you understand why we don't care about an award. Because that money that you climbed out of, that goes to our devs. We're more happy when our devs are happy. When the people who make Xbox great are happy. That's when we're happy. Because the reward is in the reward of itself. We're almost a $5 trillion company, bro. We don't care about no damn opinionated award. We'll worry about that if we didn't see money happening. If our money was falling apart and all this was going down in the shambles, then we probably might say, well, you know what? Maybe we need to win an award. But they ain't worrying about it. So Greenberg's telling you, bro, don't worry about awards. We're bigger than awards. Them awards are for that's for little bank stuff. That's little bank stuff. That's not big bank stuff. Let them devs look. They couldn't even do it right for Black Myth Wukong. You taking the Game Awards that serious? They can't even get that right. Just let these the donkey-fied industry praise what they like. They like Sony. It's not a mystery. They like PlayStation. You know, there was no way they're gonna beat Black Myth Wukong. It was too hard for them. They saw that damn Astrobot and they didn't even buy it themselves. But shit, let's give it Game Awards. I played 10 minutes of it and I loved it. I just jumped around. It's easy for them. Something they could do. Game of the year. Notice you had to play that game on a PlayStation platform. Notice that Xbox brand. Notice that Resident Gamer Zero. Notice that Spark 117. Notice that Chat Pat. That the only way you could play Astrobot if you had a PlayStation. And only 1.5 million at the time bought it when it won an award. And it took it 3 months to do that. And it won Gotti. You can't make this shit up. No, you couldn't play it nowhere else. So a fenced-in game on one platform wins Gotti. And you got one that's over 20 million sold on PC and on PlayStation. With PlayStation only hitting around 4 to 5 million on it. The rest, 20-something million were on PCs. That's where the gamers were at. Just keeping it real. That's where the gamers were at. They were on Black Myth Wukong. Only a donkey would deny that. But real gamers know what was up. Real gamer, and it wasn't the fact that it's PlayStation. No, real game. I was like, damn. I was driving when they called me up and told me who won because I wasn't watching the Game Awards. I don't care about it like that. I have my reward shows. I have them. I have the shows that I want to watch. The Xbox Direct show and the Xbox Showcase. 2 best shows of the year, in my opinion. They show more and do more than all these shows now. I'm more interested in what Xbox is doing, just like everybody else. So you can't fault me. Donkeys are interested in Xbox. PlayStation fans are interested in Xbox. Nintendo fans are interested in Xbox. The gaming media is interested in Xbox, so I am too. Who isn't interested in Xbox right now? It's the platform that's got all the games, got all the devices. Who isn't? I hear you, 30 below. It's crazy out here, y'all. We're heading to the 25th anniversary, but not yet. We got Gamescom. Look how Xbox is out in these streets, man. Microsoft, once again, is helping all these platforms that need to stay alive, stay floating. We can't rely on Nintendo. They didn't show up last year. You can't rely on Sony. They didn't show up next year. You know why they didn't show up? Have no games. They have nothing to show. Silver Fox facts. But look, they're zealots, fam. You can't expect zealots to change. That's what they are. Diehard zealots. That's okay. It's okay to be a fan of something, but you just gotta make sense. You know, I go out here to these Dallas Cowboy fans and I tell them, everything is cool until you start trying to tell me they're gonna win the Super Bowl. You ain't making no sense. We can talk football all day, but then y'all start losing y'all's minds and start telling me y'all gonna win the Super Bowl again. The conversation ends. You a zealot. You show me you a zealot. You can't think straight. That's what they do. They have no definition for their stubbornness. Their hatred for Xbox at an all-time high. They're very emotional and unstable people. You know, the way of thinking is irrational. And I would hate to say it, man. They don't show fun in PlayStation. They don't show fun in PlayStation. They look miserable every day. They doom and gloom off everything. They want you to be in their company of misery every day. Ignore them idiots. Ignore them. Because what's paining them is the fact that Xbox is dead, but it ain't. What's paining them is nobody buys Xbox games, but they do. What's paining them is Game Pass is trash, but it's growing. You see what I'm saying? Now they're mad because you can play your PlayStation games without buying a PlayStation. And you play the better version. So they're mad. They're mad because all the narratives and myths and stuff was not for them. They were for you to believe those lies. Right, Zeke? And for everybody that believed those lies, you fell into those traps. See, them themselves couldn't obtain their own laws. Just like I said they would. They all gonna fail you. Told y'all. So they only gonna parade around a bunch of foolishness. Don't be a part of that pack, man. Play your games like Brand said. Enjoy your games. Play your games. Come out, talk about it. Makes sense. You ain't gotta mention Xbox. You on PlayStation. Talk about PlayStation. When you play on your PlayStation game, if you playing God of War, we know it's old. We already know people have been playing. That's the problem. I get it. You really don't have nothing to talk about, but talk about it. If you playing it, talk about it. If what Mr. Bushido said, you know what is it? Little Big Planet remaster, whatever it was, Little Big Planet remaster. Well, go buy a Little Big Planet remaster and go play Sackboy. Go play it. Y'all love Astrobot so much. Show us you love it. Go do the speed run. Go do it. The reason why y'all ain't talking about those games, because deep down, nobody cares. The world does not play PlayStation games. That's why. The world plays Xbox games and third-party games and one Nintendo game called Mario Kart. That's what the world plays. You are not going to find in the top 10 world most played games a PlayStation game anywhere. You lucky if you even find in the top 20. And I'm not even lying. When you see the next world chart, you're not going to see a PlayStation game in it. Period. Because the world don't play PlayStation games. The reason why PlayStation is in the market, is a market leader, because it was an electronic company first. And it was a worldwide electronic company. And it had all these buildings and in all these areas where they can market for PlayStation. All right? PlayStation could be in those markets. Microsoft was not in those markets. It wasn't a worldwide market. It never has been. Microsoft just doesn't put their sources in areas that don't generate money, because that's big bank, that's big tech. Big tech don't move like that. Some little bank moves like that. But look what happened to little bank. They had to start what? Selling out them stores to what? They don't even have them anymore.
Hey, not to interrupt you, but I need to be popping off here.
No,
Going
no, Brand, that's cool, brother. Hey,
But,
we about to end it anyway. We're coming down to the end. But before you go, man, let them know where they can find you at, brother, and then hop off.
you can always find me at Xbox Brand 101. Anytime you want to spot me up a question or whichever, if you find send it to me, or if you guys have something that you think is intriguing, always send it my way. I'm always glad to look into it. All right, y'all take off and have a great day.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being a part of Direct Game of the Day, bro. Look, you got situation, right? Well, hell, it's easy to see who's who. Now you see who's who, and it's paining them. It's paining them so bad that now what they even say don't even stick anymore. Nothing even matters. Jago 6, I'm summoning the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. What is it? Shredder's Fate. Me, Rans, we mentioned you. If you have it, hit us up. And we need one more person so we can play it, man. We want a 4-player. I want a 4-player co-op that. I want to record that. And 4-player co-op. So hit me up, man. If you ain't got the game, get it. Because that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to all try to get together. And we wanted you to be a part of that with us. So yeah, man, like I said, keep it gaming. Don't worry about what these clowns are talking about, man. They're running into a brick wall. That's all they about to do. They're just running into a brick wall. Sony's going to have to get some live service games, some multiplayer games, and that's just it. There's nothing they can do about it now. Either that or they're going to have to buy these remasters. That's where they're at. But if you're an Xbox gamer, you're going to get these storefronts. You're going to get all these partnership deals. You're going to be walking around flexing. We're about to be in a world where people going to be having Xbox handhelds, walking around with Xbox. Xbox is going to be the talk of the town, man, when it comes to gaming. Bottom line, that's too easy to see. That's too easy to predict. So I'll just say this, man. In a world full of racists, Sony, you had your time, man. You had your time being number one with them V8 engines, you know. But you just thought that nobody could transform into a jet, into an F-22 and just fly right past you. And Microsoft was putting all their pieces together. And now you really don't have nothing for them. You have nothing for them. And Microsoft is just doing whatever they want to do. They're putting their games on your platform. They have no fear. Throwing over there. They doing whatever they want to do. Who's going to stop them? Nintendo? Don't make us laugh. Who's going to stop them? PlayStation 2 broke. So Microsoft is flexing on whatever they want. Yo, Rez, let them know where they can find you at, bro.
Find me right here on DIRREC Gaming.
Spawn 117, let them know where they can find you at, famo.
Right here on DIRREC Gaming.
Hey, Jago, it's called Splinter's Fate. It's out right now for $29.99, I think. If you get it now, I think you get the Casey Jones story or something free. And I can't remember, bro. But I just know it's available, bro. It's on a discount right now. If you go ahead and get it now. Splinter's Fate, famo. And shout out to everybody else out there, man, that's playing video games and having fun. I go by the name of the New Legal. This is DIRREC Gaming. And I want to say this and say this right now. I don't want to see any of you Xbox gamers tucking your chains in, man. Don't walk around in these gaming streets scared fronting to represent what Xbox is. Get out of that hyena click stuff, man, and become a lion. Become a grizzly. Leave your prints out here, man. Leave your prints out here. So when people are walking around, man, they say, damn, man, that's a big print. They don't see all these little feet running around. Come out here and be a orca, man, or a great white. But do your thing out here. Don't be scared to represent. And remember, always keep it gaming. Never make it personal. You got dummies out here that just like to make it personal because they ain't got no life. This is gaming, man. This is gaming. So we are here to keep gaming in the street and bring streets back to gaming. That's what we're here for. And like I said, we're also here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us game. In the meantime, everybody deserves that extra, man. Go get your one up in life, man, because everybody deserves a second chance. I go by the name of the New Legal, representing DIRREC Gaming, and I'll see all of y'all on the flip side to the next show. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.